Hello, this is Professor Torsen. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to use Punnett squares to solve genetic problems. So in this example question, we're looking at fur color in mice. And we see that given in the question, brown fur is dominant to white fur. And then it says, two heterozygous mice mate and produce offspring. I'm actually going to stop right there, and I'm going to write down the genotypes and corresponding phenotypes for this particular trait, fur color in mice. So for genotypes, I know it is the usual dominant, recessive, diploid organisms, and I know this because the question didn't tell me otherwise. It didn't tell me it was a special situation like X-linked recessive or something like that. So the three possible genotypes are homozygous dominant, heterozygous, and homozygous recessive. As far as the phenotype, the corresponding phenotype for each one of these genotypes, well, in the question it says brown fur is dominant to white fur. So the homozygous dominant individual, capital B, will have brown fur. The heterozygote, because there is one copy of the dominant allele, will also have brown fur. And the homozygote recessive individual, lowercase b, will be the white fur phenotype. So now that we've established this, let's go back to the question. Two heterozygous mice mate and produce offspring. What are the genotypes and corresponding phenotypes of the parents? And what are the possible genotypes and corresponding phenotypes of the offspring? Well, the genotype of the parents is actually given in the question, heterozygous. Heterozygous means you have one copy of the dominant allele and one copy of the recessive allele. So the answer for this first question, the parents are big B, little b, both of them, because they are both heterozygotes. And what color are they? Well, I can go back to my initial list of genotypes and corresponding phenotypes, and I see that both heterozygotes will have brown fur. So I will write down brown fur as the rest of that answer. This second question, what are the possible genotypes and corresponding phenotypes of the offspring? Well, offspring, I know I'm going to need to draw a Punnett square, so I'll put it over here. Okay, and I've got the genotypes of the parents. Remember, both are heterozygotes, so both are capital B, lowercase b. And the genotypes of the parents go on the top and the left-hand side. This first quadrant will inherit a capital B from one parent and a capital B from the other parent. This quadrant will receive a capital B and a lowercase b. This quadrant will receive a uppercase b and a lowercase b. And this last quadrant will receive two lowercase b's. So if I want to answer this second question about the possible genotypes and corresponding phenotypes of the offspring, all the information I need is in the Punnett square. So in terms of the genotypes, I see there is one homozygote dominant, I see there are 2 heterozygote combinations. And there is 1 quadrant here that is homozygous recessive. So that would be the genotypic ratio for the offspring. And the corresponding phenotypes, well, the homozygote dominant and the heterozygote individuals all have brown fur because they all carry at least 1 copy of the dominant allele. And remember, brown fur is dominant. We've got 1 combination that will result in white fur. And so if we were talking about the ratios, we would say there are 3 brown fur for every 1 white fur. If you're more comfortable with fractions, you would say that 1/4 are homozygote dominant, half are heterozygote, and 1/4 are homozygote recessive. And then in terms of the phenotypes, 3/4 are brown fur and 1/4 are white fur. All right, and if you prefer percents, I'm going to add in the percentages here. So rather than 1/4, 1/2, and 1/4, we would have 25% homozygote dominant, 50% heterozygote, and 25% homozygote recessive. And in terms of phenotypes, then that would be 75% brown fur and 25% white fur. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that video, and thanks for watching.